Mike built a bomb shelter at home and took his wife inside to escape a nuclear bomb. Just as the couple entered the shelter, they heard a violent explosion outside. Mike immediately closed the heavy steel door and activated the countdown system. They had to wait 30 years until the radiation decayed to a safe level before they could leave. However, they didn't know that what had just fallen was not a nuclear bomb, but an out-of-control plane that had accidentally crashed. During their long underground life, the couple welcomed their first child, whom they named John. Fortunately, Mike had prepared enough food and supplies for 30 years, ensuring the family of 3 would not lack food or clothing. Regrettably, for the next 30 years, the child could only spend his time in this dark bunker. However, the facilities in this bunker were quite comprehensive. Not only did it have sufficient backup power to meet the needs of all household appliances, but it also had a warehouse-like storeroom that satisfied his wife's shopping desires. In his spare time, Mike raised fish, grew flowers, and even built a small library. From a young age, Mike taught John 8 languages, as well as various theoretical knowledge and fighting skills, while his wife Mary taught him dance and social etiquette. Despite being isolated from the world, the family remained happy and content. Mike even gave John his cherished baseball star cards and stocks. Time flew by, and John had grown into a 30-year-old adult. On this day, his parents were celebrating his birthday. John blew out the candles and made a wish to eat KFC. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. They ran out to check and found that the 30-year countdown had ended. The door opened automatically, indicating that the danger outside had been lifted. Mary was thrilled that the family could finally return to the surface and see the long-lost blue sky and white clouds. For safety's sake, Mike went up to scout first. He saw that the once prosperous community had become a ruin. People on the street behaved strangely, with some rummaging through garbage piles for food and a low-voiced woman asking him for directions. Mike ran back to the basement in a panic and told his wife and son what had happened. He was convinced that this was a genetic mutation caused by nuclear radiation, and instructed his wife not to go out under any circumstances. Just as he was about to lock the door, Mary objected. She was unwilling to be trapped underground forever and didn't want her 30-year-old son to never see the world outside. During the argument, Mike suddenly had a heart attack and was bedridden. Mary hurriedly gave John money and asked him to go out and buy a large amount of supplies. As the food in the bunker was running low, John took his father's baseball cards and stocks and walked out of the ground through the elevator. This was John's first time on the surface, seeing people other than his parents, and he felt incredibly excited. For the first time, he took a bus and went to the legendary supermarket. However, after 30 years, prices had increased tenfold, and the money his mother gave him couldn't even buy a KFC meal. John had to go home and think of a way, but it was getting dark, and he got lost on his way home. At this time, he found a collectibles shop on the roadside and excitedly walked in, wanting to sell his father's baseball cards. Unexpectedly, the shop owner saw that he was inexperienced and only offered to buy all the cards for $3. The naive John thought of him as a kind-hearted person, but the shop's employee, Anna, couldn't bear to deceive him and expose the boss's trick. She told John that any single card in the shop was worth tens of thousands of dollars. The boss was furious and fired Anna for exposing him. John fell in love with this kind girl at first sight and started pestering her to help him find a place to stay. Anna was initially wary, mistaking him for having ill intentions until John took out a baseball card as an exchange. She then agreed to take him to a hotel. The next day, Anna voluntarily returned the card, saying that she couldn't easily accept someone's valuable